Welcome to the Empowered Women Life Leaders podcast. I'm your host, Karen Bashford. This podcast is for every woman who has ever felt limited by her past, silenced by trauma, or held back by society's expectations. Each week, we will share powerful stories, expert insights, and practical tools to help you become the leader of your own life.
And today I have the lovely Dr. Brigitte Bolkowski. Brigitte is or has been a flight attendant, somewhat different, in the world of academia, but now she's a global brand identity strategist. However, she has a unique story to share. I'm not going to do any more introduction because for me, this is going to be absolutely a story I want to hear personally. And I'm grateful that you're prepared to share it because it is something that personally I've never heard or been involved in any way. So with no more ado, welcome. Please introduce yourself and what you want to share with my audience or the audience.
Hello, Karen. I'm honored to be here and grateful for this opportunity to share not just my expertise, but my journey and obviously my truth. And yeah, as you say, I was a flight attendant very early in my life. So from the outside, my whole path might look like a patchwork, right? From a flight attendant to student to corporate to student to corporate again, teaching on a side at the university as a teaching professor, and then morphing into an entrepreneur as a brand identity strategist, business educator, but also now as a retreat facilitator. So these parts of my journey may seem unrelated, but in retrospect, they totally make sense. And each chapter was a layer of my becoming, of what I am now. And there is so much more that adds on to that. Yeah, so all the learning from, as a flight attendant, starting in the skies, quite literally, and then as a head flight attendant, I love the cultural diversity, the human connections, the commitment to service, and to also serve in excellence. And that was where I first learned how impactful an experience can be for a human being, for a person. Yeah. And that's where my passion for excellence first took root. So excellence is also one of my core values. That it does not mean I'm striving for perfection, yeah, but because it's taking away from your authenticity, but being authentic in what you're doing in your best possible version. That's what I mean by that. Yeah, and then I felt intellectually unchallenged at a point in time, and I knew I was ready to jump plane, literally, because if I would have stayed, I'd have shrinked, and I didn't want to live with that regret that I did not try to study, did not try to do something else, did not try to figure out what potential is in me. And so, yeah, I pursued the path of studying and working in corporate and then working in academia, and that also both sides, both ends, because it's different industries, the private sector and then being in academia and teaching on this level. So I got to experience both worlds, and this is something I bring into my work as an entrepreneur, as a brand identity strategist, creating identities, because I call myself as someone, I empower authentic visibility. And then there is one more part that comes in. It's my personal experience as a human being, what influenced my life and also influenced my purpose. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's me.
So obviously everything you've shared has indicated that it's a learning. But I think the most influential part of our lives isn't necessarily the work, it's our own personal story.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've definitely got a unique one.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will have influenced you in many, many ways.
Yeah.
My
My whole life. Yes, I will. It's not easy, but I share it because it might help someone else feel seen. Because I always felt like for the last, actually my whole life since my teenager time, I stayed silent about everything what happened. And the only times I ever shared in this story, what I'm talking about, is in 2 anthologies I co-authored. It's in 2 books. It's The Significant Women, Leaders Reveal What Matters Most, and Daring Metamorphosis, Inspiring Stories of Growth and Synchronicity. So I've never spoken about it publicly until now, Karen.
Well, if
Yeah.
you feel uncomfortable, just let me know.
No, I'm fine. Otherwise, I would never have agreed. But I think it's time to talk about it. And this was 36 years ago. It happened one evening when I came home after dancing school. I was just a teenager, as I mentioned, standing in front of our home, waiting for my parents to open the main door to our condominium building. It's a complex, when I was attacked. And at that time, there was a serial killer who strangled women in staircases with stockings after he had raped them. And I was the lucky one who got away. So in that sense, I'm a survivor of a murder attempt, and in that case, a victim of a serial killer who tried to end my life. I managed to get away. Yeah,
That is big. That
that's
is big.
big. That is big. Yeah. So I got away. I fight. I just try to. It's the only chance that I have is flight. It's just. And you develop such strength in that moment. I couldn't shout, I couldn't do anything, then just get all my energy to just get away from that. So so I got away, but the fear that he might return one day haunted me for years. He never got caught, so they never found him. And this trauma definitely left deep imprints in my soul. I internalized the belief, and I think that is critical, that if someone wanted me to be dead, I must not be worth much. So that was my train of thought, right? And the fear silenced me, not only my voice, but my presence, my potential, and also my dreams. So it affected everything. And on top of that, I grew up in an environment that conditioned me to stay small. Don't speak too loud. Don't shine too bright. Others know better. We are not good enough. We are not, we are not, we are not, we are not. And be grateful for what you have and don't ask for more. So I always learned to perform. I also overachieved in roles that totally undervalued me. And I became the perfect people pleaser. Due to that. And because, it was really interesting. On the outside, I looked successful in what I was doing, but on the inside, I was literally at war. I was always at war. I was fighting for my life. One part always wanted me to live boldly. I love to be out there. And to do things and to be seen. And at the same time, it's so conflicting. The other part of me shouted, "You're too much, you're not enough, and just stay small." So this was a constant battle. And this is really difficult to dissolve something like that.
And I should imagine it was made worse because of the experience you had. Because here was this person literally trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself was a trauma that I think was probably, I want to say, more traumatic than anything else. Because as a human being, we naturally want to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And you, obviously, in that moment of the attack, was aware that there was this person trying to kill you, probably in the back of your mind it was, oh my God, it's this killer. And all of a sudden it's like, I've got to survive this. And as you say, we become frantic and very strong in that moment of wanting to survive. So if you don't want to talk about it, I understand, but could you perhaps tell us, after you had got away from them, how did it leave you feeling?
Totally confused. I didn't understand the world, because back then therapy was not really something people talked about or thought out. I mean, 36 years ago, it was a different time. And my parents didn't quite know how to handle it either. So they were in shock, just trying to hold everything together. I think also they didn't realize what really happened. So they added some locks to the door and a switch in the condo to light the staircase from inside, because I was in fear that he was coming back to get me and silence me for good. Because as I was the only one who got away from that. So I also was terrified to be all alone at home. And for a year or two, someone had to accompany me when leaving the house and when returning to the house. Yeah. So, and it's the way of also how they handled it. That night, everything happened so fast. I was completely hysterical, crying and shaking. A doctor was called to sedate me. The police were searching the area in the middle of the night. A SWAT team came and picked up several men from the street. Can you believe that? They wanted me to identify if one of them was the attacker in that situation. The next morning, I had to go to the police station to give a full report. And right away, you should not be late because I had to write an exam at school. That's how they treated it. It was just, I went to the police and then the world continued like nothing happened. But for me,
your life had changed totally.
Yeah, and it's almost surreal to think about it now, but for me, there was no time to process, no time to heal, just the silent expectation to go on as if nothing had happened. And for many years, I tried to push it away. Yeah, of course. I had nightmares in the middle of the night. Until now, I cannot just walk in the street during the night like that. I'm always looking around if someone is coming, because very often you don't hear it, you just feel there is something, right? So you're overly aware of things, and but the trauma doesn't disappear. Yeah, it buries itself deep inside. And only in my late 20s and early 30s, I went to a therapy because of it was still haunting me. And I can't tell you whether it helped in a traditional sense, but yeah, I don't know. But what I did is in 2006, that is like 20 years ago, I started Muay Thai boxing.
Okay, so you gave yourself that sense of security by being physically fit and able to deal with any kind of challenge that might come along.
Yes. Yeah, because that changed something profound in me. It made me feel strong.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't a victim anymore. But and also someone who could defend herself if needed. Just knowing that. And I also believe I radiate that strength today. You know, I just radiate a different energy. So she cannot be a victim. She's not. I'm not. So yeah, and at the end of the day, it became part of who I am. It's an experience, a very brutal one, I would say. I mean, I know there are others living in a war zone. This is a completely different story, but we all have our baggage. We all have our stories. But it laid the foundation for my purpose. And my purpose is helping others, and helping others going from hiding to thriving, because I was hiding all my life, and now my pain became my purpose. That's how I turn it around, because I survived for something. I never saw myself or saw it in that, or in that sense. It took me a while to reframe from I should be dead to I survived for a reason. Yeah, so I survived for a reason. Yeah, and yeah, so I'm here to help others rise, to show women that you can go from this hiding to thriving. And another thing, I think that is important, that your scars don't define you. I'm not defined as that, but they refine you on the go, what you are becoming. And I think that's beautiful. Yeah, but
Yeah, and
that's part of it. I'm still in it. And I think you deal with it the rest of your life, because it's part of your DNA.
it's obviously still quite challenging for you. I can hear that in your voice. Do you want to pause for a moment? I'm more than happy to pause the recording. You
I'm
sure?
fine. I'm absolutely fine. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Yeah, I'm fine.
But yeah, I can still feel the pain within you, because that's what I do with my clients, is actually feel their pain. And having not experienced that, although in a similar way, my partner took a knife to me, and I literally landed up running down a street screaming, because he was ready to cut me to pieces. And that was my partner. So that was bad enough, but to have a stranger must have been far, far worse. My hat off to you to have got through that, especially based on what you've been sharing, that nobody knew how to help you deal with it. And that has obviously left a mark on you, because there was nobody there that could say to you, you're safe. And I think for any woman or any man that's ever been attacked, that's the one thing we have to come back to, is that sense of safety within ourselves. And if that's taken from us, it defines you and how you behave in the future. So I really respect and honor you for the fact that you can now stand here and say, I want to enable women to be visible. Because for you to have got to that point of really standing up and being yourself and being very visible, it took a lot of inner strength to do that. So that is absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I tell you, it's not easy to be out there, to put yourself out there. Because there's always this doubt. How do I come across? Maybe people just, they think, what does this woman think putting herself out there? Look at her accent, or she cannot even say a sentence straight. Yeah, maybe in English language, because my mother tongue is German, or whatever, or it's of course the fear of being criticized, but healing, it's also owning your story. It's just standing up for who you are. And then I think my purpose became also helping others write their own story, rewrite the narrative, and reframe and recalibrate, and not only doing it alone, but in a group of people. And that's where I see my mission and my higher purpose going forward. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about your retreat then.
Oh my God. Yeah, my retreat, why I created it. It's the retreat is kind of, everything is coming together now so beautifully, like a puzzle, all my different stops and chapters. And this retreat is a 5-day immersive journey of reclamation, realignment, and reinvention at a beautiful, sacred place here in Austria. And I think there also needs to be the environment that supports that, a safe container in nature. And yeah, the next one is happening in June, June 24 till 28 in 2006. So here in Austria. And I created it, first of all, based on my story, from hiding to thriving, from people who are in a transition, but also I've seen again and again how even the most accomplished women or people, leaders, executives, entrepreneurs often reach a point where outer success not longer feels like inner fulfillment. I saw it in my own journey as a flight attendant, head flight attendant. Okay, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
You do it, you have the success, but internally, inside, you're not feeling this anymore. You feel empty. And there needs to also be this inner fulfillment. They have achieved so much, yet something feels incomplete. There's something missing, this quiet longing to pause. Some are in a rat race. They never get the time to pause. The last time a friend of mine said, she's an executive. And I said, please take the time to go on a treadmill or, yes, but I don't have the time. Yeah? And they want to pause, they want to breathe, and they also want to reconnect with who they truly are beneath these roles and also the external expectations. And these external expectations become your own expectations on yourself, right? So I'm becoming is this sacred pause. And it's a space where we strip away the noise, rediscover identity with introspection, and realign life and leadership from the inside out. Because for me, I call myself a brand identity strategist. Branding is mindset work. It comes from identity work. Yeah, everyone is a brand. Every person, everything that we see is something that tries to communicate a story or is unconsciously. Yeah, people have a perception about you. People create an image about you. Yeah? And branding starts inside with introspection. Who am I truly? Excavating all the layers of conditioning. And then, what's my true essence? And that's what we find in this retreat. It's a personal branding strategy, inner leadership work, and we do activities like yoga, breath work. We do forest bathing, herb hikes. So there is also the nature immersion going on, and deep introspection and soulful conversations. It's kind of creating a sisterhood, a community of like-minded people that are looking for the same thing and want to move from doing to being, from performing to becoming. And I think that's beautiful. And I'm becoming is my soul's work. That's what I wanna do until I really drop dead. But on my terms.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. As you're speaking, I'm thinking, I can't remember who wrote it, but there was, or rather did it, there was a research where they had a woman describe herself and what she thought that she looked like outwardly and how she behaved and such. And then they brought friends in and shared the story. And I think we always forget that what we see ourselves at is not necessarily what everyone else sees us. So to actually go within a community, men and women, and actually be able to look inwards to acknowledge we're better than we think we are, even though we've succeeded, there's always that element of doubt. Am I good enough? Or, oh, there's somebody better than I am. Or, well, I'm not going to go any further because I don't have the capabilities. When in fact, if we trusted ourselves enough, we'd be surprised at how much we can achieve. So for me, what you're sharing is very much that case of as a retreat, it means literally stripping away all those elements of us that say, I'm here, this is what I am now. And in fact, there's a lot of you that isn't truly you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's beautiful to see when we are in this process. There is so much crying,
Yeah.
and so much joy and happiness at the same time, and so many ahas and eurekas, and it's just unbelievable. And then you have this beautiful environment and this nourishing food, and everything is thought out. So it's just a wonderful place to become for everyone. Become who you truly are, and get the clarity of what you want to become going forward. And also this creating this exceptional experience with other like minds. And you see friendships fostering, and I can say for life. It's just for me an incredible experience. And what is coming back is you cannot even, put the price tag on it. It's just immensely healing also for me. Healing for me, healing from my wounds, and yeah, I just lived such a retreat in a whole new spirit. And you know that when you are a teacher, an educator, or just a person who helps others, guides others, you learn as well. You're always a student, always, even though you are the professor or the guide or the teacher or the supervisor. You always learn. And this is beautiful.
And in learning, you also heal yourself, which is something that I don't think many of us really acknowledge, that sometimes we just need to hear somebody else talking to actually appreciate something within ourselves that allows us to heal ourselves at the same time. So yeah, it's going to be a fantastic retreat. It sounds absolutely amazing. And your energy is so alive. So the people that work with you will be absolutely empowered from your energy alone, because I believe that what we put out is what we give in such a way that others can gain from it. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much.
No, it's my pleasure. It's lovely to recognize somebody who has that amazing ability to share herself in such a way without draining herself. And I get that sense from you that no matter how much you give, you're always caring for yourself enough to ensure that you don't drain yourself. And that is something so many women need to learn.
Yeah, I also need to learn it, because in order to survive all of that, I became very disciplined. I taught myself to be disciplined, otherwise you die. You will not make it. So this is one of my part of my handrails. It's the discipline that I put that I incorporated to survive every day. Yeah, to just stay strong. And I think it also helps you to become more resilient. So I think I'm a really resilient person. Nothing's
Yeah.
ever gonna, destroy me, in a sense that I will not recline or get up again. No.
No, you're definitely resilient. The fact you survived what you survived says you're very resilient. But
yeah, it makes you strong, right?
yeah. And that is one thing us women forget, that we are far more resilient than we realize.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much we get knocked down, we will invariably get up again and continue. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's allowing ourselves to be hurt, but at the same time be able to be moving forward regardless of what's happened to us. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? It's been phenomenal listening to your story and the insights you've gained from it. And what you're now doing to help other women. It's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you as a guest.
Was mine too.
And I wish you well with the retreat. I will share all the information of everything on the actual text that goes when the podcast goes out. So that will be included for you.
Yeah. I would like to say some parting words that to all
Please
the
do.
women out there, just to remember that your story is your power, and your authenticity is your strategy, and that your becoming is your brand. So don't forget about that.
Great parting words. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed having you on the podcast. So thank you.
Thank you.